Joe Biden has an Instagram account for his dogs, and they just posted pictures of them using the president as a chew toy. Unity and healing. Hello, this is Karen.
And this is Kevin.
And this is Right From Us.
Okay, well, Snopes says that's false.
Well, actually, Snopes says that's true and false. Here they said, what's true? The photographs were authentic and showed Major and Champ playing with the Trump chew toy. The president-elect's granddaughter, Naomi Biden, posted them in July 2020, but later deleted them. Here's what's false about that. Biden himself didn't post the photograph. So
Technically, it's a technicality. Yes, it's false.
It's
technically.
true, but they're claiming that Biden posted it, and actually Snopes says no, that's not right. Biden didn't do it; his granddaughter did.
Yeah, so they're hoping a lot of people will just click off it and say it's false information.
But that makes you wonder just how much fact checking is in all of this stuff that's going on. Like how much of it?
I mean, it's almost always it's some kind of technicality. You know, like he didn't say the word "and," like the Post said, or something stupid like that.
Well, first of all, can we talk about the chew toy? That's pretty funny. To have a Donald Trump chew toy in the president-elect's house. That was pretty funny. But the bigger story, the bigger point here is that it makes you wonder how much fact-checking is, that they do that's actually true, and how much they're actually just splitting hairs, basically. And then they're splitting a hair. If one hair gets split off, then whoops, forget it. Nope, the whole thing's false. So the whole, I don't know, this whole fact-checking thing just drives me insane. And the censorship, the whole censorship
how about
thing.
like in the like on the newscasts where they'll just cut away from the president and say that's obviously false information.
Not just the president, but they did the Kayleigh McEnany too.
Yeah.
When she was actually talking. She wasn't even done talking and they cut away from her.
Well, they've done that to the president too.
I think that is so insulting. That is so insulting.
What about what happened to just reporting
insulting.
the news, what's going on, and then let people decide?
Well, I guess people are too stupid to use their brains and make up their own minds because they clearly know what's best for us. That just absolutely drives me crazy. And then YouTube shuts down creator of Dilbert. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I have always been a big Dilbert fan. Scott Adams.
He's got some great comics.
He is funny.
He is funny.
I actually went and watched that video that YouTube censored.
Yeah.
And all he was doing he was just going over some statistics.
Yeah.
And coming to some of his own conclusions based upon the
what was
evidence.
already
Of course,
publicized.
there's no evidence. It's all baseless.
That's true. There
There's
is no evidence. Everything's
So-
made up.
So maybe that's it. He said there was evidence.
According to the fact checkers, of course.
Yeah.
I tell you, we live in a scary time. We really do. We're becoming like communist China. And I don't care what anybody says out there, we are. Because when it gets to the point where you can't even post a thought, a question, or an opinion without getting censored or fact checked.
Well, freedom of speech. The reason we have freedom of speech is because it protects speech that not everybody's going to like. If it's like something everybody likes, there's no problem with it, obviously. But it's the speech that not everybody likes is what's protected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And we've gotten to that point where, some people don't even know how to manage it, to, what's the word I'm looking for? Deal with it. They just, and to deal with a differing opinion, they get violent. That's how they express their
and this is
disagreement, I guess.
It's why we have protection for freedom of speech because, I don't agree with somebody that's a Nazi, but they have every right to say what they...
To spew their hateful,
whatever,
hateful sentence, I guess, but verbiage. I can't talk today. I guess it's my turn not to be able to talk today. Yeah, I know. That really bothers me. The whole thing just really bothers me about Facebook and Oh my gosh, that reminds me of Awakening with JP. His videos are so funny.
Awaken
He
with JP.
he posted a video today, I believe, apologizing to Facebook. Though he's not really apologizing. He's apologizing for, I'm so sorry that I voiced my opinion. And I mean, it's so funny. You have to watch it. It's so funny. He makes me laugh. He's a comedian. He's got a lot of satire, and he is so funny to watch. But he did get censored from Facebook.
Did he?
Yeah, he sure did.
Well, he was saying that on one of his previous videos, he was actually giving his address of not his address, but the address of alternate locations where his videos could be found.
Oh yeah, because he was
he
fully
thought
expecting,
for sure that he would be censored.
Yeah. Which
so.
at some point he might be. I don't know. And by the way, speaking of that, the teacher that we talked about last week that went crazy about on those protesters.
Oh, yeah.
That video was deleted. From
Yeah,
Facebook,
I noticed
from YouTube.
that on your
My blog.
It was just
Yeah.
one of those grayed out things.
Yep, it was gone. The YouTube user or the account was deleted. So
did YouTube do that, or
I
did
don't
the
know.
user do that?
I don't know. It could have been one of those situations where it was like a copyright issue. Like, they borrowed it from a news source, and the news source contacted them and said, take it down. But I don't know. The bottom line is it was removed from the platform. So I don't know. Anymore, you just don't know. You hope that what you post gets out there and people hear and see it. But I guess the gods that be of Facebook and Twitter, if they decide that what you've posted goes against their agenda, they just take it down. That's alarming.
I guess
Why is no one else alarmed by this?
Well, I
why
guess
is
the
it
argument,
not a bigger news?
The argument is that they're a private company. They can do what they want with the information that's on their platform. They're a private company. And there's that 230
yeah
bill.
Well, and then that's why they're trying to promote
that.
Parler and Rumble and all these alternative sources to go and post your stuff at, because you can't trust Facebook and Twitter to be impartial anymore. I mean, that's it. They're not impartial. They're not. So, but I guess, what do you expect from a free service? I mean, it is free.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't have to pay for it.
When you sign up for things that are free like that, I mean, you click on the little link
terms of service,
yeah. And I mean, nobody reads any of that stuff, and they
right.
know it.
Right. That's what they're counting on.
So, and in the fine print there, it says we can basically do what we want.
I mean,
you're agreeing to it, and you're getting this for free. It's pretty amazing that it's all for free, and that's the reason it's for free, is because they can do what they want with your information.
I guess so. So I guess, where do you draw the line, though? Like, if like government officials are giving out information to the people, and that information is being deleted, like the whole Joe Biden stuff.
That's
Hunter
the
Biden,
whole question with this. Was it Section 230 or whatever it's called?
Yeah, it's 230, Section 230.
The issue with that is that these services are really not. They're editorials. They're really a publication, since they're censoring everything.
Yeah. I hope something comes of that, and they were also talking about, they're trying to, I think they're actually suing Facebook because they're monopolizing the market by buying up competitors, basically, so that they can't become as big as Facebook.
Yeah. I mean,
see, that's kind of a thin line, isn't it? Kind of a gray area.
The thing about that is Microsoft did the same thing.
Right.
Practically everything in Microsoft is
Google
something that they bought, from some other startup company.
Google does the same thing.
The startup company, they're happy to do it. They're happy to sell their stuff. They all became millionaires.
Right.
Like GoWalla was one of the things that.
Right.
Who did they get bought up? I think it was Facebook.
Oh, I don't know.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I think it was Facebook, actually, now that you say that.
I mean, there's several different. So I don't know. That's kind of a tough argument there. That's kind of how these companies grow, and that's how they get more features, as they buy up smaller companies.
It's really a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you want to use these platforms to get this information out, but you're trusting the platforms to
I know.
to not
just think
interfere, and they interfere, and this is what happened.
Just think about all the stuff that's free, like just Google itself, just Googling something.
Right.
I mean, you have to look at the advertisements, but...
Well, unless you have ad block.
There's several other...
Yeah.
things that I use for Google that are completely, totally free, and it's like, I'm just wondering what information they're gathering from me and selling or whatever. I don't want to think about that, actually.
Yeah.
So last week we had the Santa Claus that told the kid that he couldn't have a Nerf gun for Christmas.
Yeah.
And it turns out not only did the kid get a Nerf gun from the company, he got like hundreds of Nerf guns from people donating them. So this Santa Claus really backfired. It's like hundreds of kids are going to get Nerf guns now because of this Santa Claus.
And did you say they were donated to the NRA, or they got involved?
I'm not sure, but I think the kid is donating to the NRA, who's going to distribute them to kids, needy kids. So
yeah.
So hundreds of needy kids are going to end up with Nerf guns this Christmas
You know,
because of that Santa Claus.
That's really the response that you should do, though, when something crazy like this happens, because too many people just sit by and just don't say anything and let it happen. You know, I don't know. There's got to be a response to some of this craziness. I mean, otherwise this craziness is never going to go away, and it's just going to get worse. Oh, speaking of craziness, did you hear about the guy that lost a tooth during a speech?
Yeah, Louis Gohmert. He's a Republican congressman.
How embarrassing for that guy.
From
That's awful.
Texas. He's from Texas. And he was in a speech, like it wasn't really a speech, it was like more like a press conference or something out in front of the White House or something like that. And he as he was talking, a tooth fell out.
I'm looking at a picture of it.
As he was talking, a tooth fell out.
Oh,
and,
no, that's terrible.
And the tooth fell out. He just kind of pushed it over to the side and kept going. He didn't even flinch. I mean,
what would you do?
I would probably stop and say, I'm going to have to go to the dentist or something. Oh, boy.
I think I would probably do what he did and just kind of push over to the side and act like nothing's going on.
He just
How
pushed it over to the
though.
side like
Poor
nothing
guy.
even happened. I don't know if it was I think they said it was a bridge or a crown. Or I almost think it's one of those false teeth that you kind of push in between.
That's like the dreams you have of all your teeth falling out.
I never had that dream.
Oh, I had that dream. I used to have that dream all the time. Whatever that means, don't tell me. I don't think I want to know, but I think that means you feel like you're losing control of your life or something like that.
Really?
But
That's one dream I've never had.
really?
No.
But that's one thing that could be really like bad timing, right? To lose a tooth while you're in front of the cameras talking to a press conference. But also bad timing is that poor nurse that fainted right after she had the vaccine. Did you read that?
Yeah, I saw
Poor
that.
thing. I felt sorry for her.
Apparently, this nurse had a history of fainting after experiencing pain. You know, you'd think they would have found a different nurse to test the vaccine on on the cameras.
It doesn't exactly instill confidence, does it? In the vaccine, when you've got someone who just took the vaccine getting up there and she faints dead away. But
actually, she talked. She talked for maybe 2 or 3 minutes after the vaccine.
Yeah, and then she's
They were
like,
asking her
"Oh, I
question.
feel dizzy," and then
she just kind of.
then she just kind of fell over, fainted.
I mean, what other bad thing could happen under? You lose a tooth. I guess the thing with Rudy Giuliani a few weeks ago, where his hair dye was.
Oh my gosh,
melting.
I feel so sorry for that guy. I feel so sorry for him.
I just can't make this stuff up. That is.
It's the worst timing though of ever. It's terrible. Let's see. What else do we have to talk about? We have a whole list of things here. You want to move on to COVID? Thank you, Dr. Fauci. Yard signs. You know what, Dr. Fauci? Here's the thing. You can't stand up in front of people night after night on different news stations talking about doom and gloom and nope, don't celebrate Thanksgiving, don't celebrate Christmas. My gosh, this could go on to 2022 and expect people to embrace you. I mean, he sounds like he's legitimately shocked that he's having to hire security because people are giving him death threats and things like that.
Yeah. Well, if his opinions didn't change from week to week, and then people end up having to close their businesses as a result, I could, understand. I guess I understand why people are upset with him, because his opinion changes every week, and people are losing their livelihoods because of his opinions. you know.
Well, I don't even think it's his opinions. I just think it's the whole it's constant doom and gloom from that man. There's no hope. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. And he's amazed that he's gotten harassed and getting death threats, and now he's going to have to hire security, and he's amazed by that.
Yeah, so he's saying now that even though there's a vaccine, we probably have to wear masks and continue lockdowns.
Oh, actually, is that him, or is that Dr. Gupta, or whatever his name is?
That's Dr. Fauci and Dr. Gupta saying this stuff.
So even after you get vaccinated, the experts are saying that you need to continue wearing a mask and don't take a vacation. Don't live your life even after you get the vaccine. So my thing is, one, why? Why would you get a vaccine? Okay, if your life is not going to change for the better and you hope to get back to normal. Two, why would you get a vaccine of 95% efficacy and there's a 99.9% chance of you recovering from the COVID? Why? Why would you do that?
I guess you could avoid getting it altogether. Would be one reason why you'd get it. And definitely people with in high risk groups should get it for sure. Don't you think? You don't agree?
Boy, I'm going to make some anti-vaxxers mad out there. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not. It's just, man, I don't know. I think it's too soon. I just think it's too soon.
You're making vaxxers, not anti-vaxxers.
Or vaxxers. Right. Sorry. Vaxxers, anti-vaxxers. I probably can't win, honestly. But yeah. I don't know. A lot of people have a lot of different opinions on this COVID vaccine. And again, man, if it would guarantee us to go back to normal, take off the mask, live your life, be able to travel, see your family, sure, let's do it. Let's do it and get it over with. But if we're having the experts tell us that is not necessarily going to happen, then again, that's like you're giving me some hope, and then you're snatching it away.
You got to consider the source. These guys have been so wrong from the very beginning. I mean, they were saying that in the United States there was going to be 2.3 million deaths.
Which, thank God they were wrong. Thank God, and that's awesome. But I don't know if they're just not wanting to give up the fame, to give up the speaking gigs.
I mean, they're on TV every night, and again, I just wonder how much they're making from these TV appearances.
But this kind of news over and over and over again, it's just like it just wears on people after a while, and you have to give them some kind of hope, something to look forward to.
Well, they criticize President Trump for having hope, because President Trump apparently wasn't at the very beginning. He wasn't as doom and gloom as they thought that he should be. So they people criticize, the news criticized President Trump for not being doom and gloom at the very first. He was trying to be optimistic. So, I mean, anyway, there's this new strain of flu that they've uncovered in England. Apparently, it's spreading in England. They've got a lot of hospitalizations because of this new strain of not the flu, the new variant of COVID. I mean,
I was going to say I was pretty sure that the flu was eradicated this season.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we don't have the flu at all.
Yeah. So anyway, the new variant of COVID is. I'm just wondering when they're going to come out and say, well, the vaccine doesn't cover this new thing,
exactly.
So you need to continue wearing a mask and lock
yes.
down.
Because they'll know that this vaccine's going to handle this kind of strand, but there are.
Is it strand or strain?
I think it's
strain. Isn't it strain?
Strain or strain? I don't know.
I thought it was strain.
It's just another variant. There you go. We'll just say variant. Another variant of COVID.
Okay. And speaking of the flu, can you go to that one?
Yeah.
This is the graph we looked at, I think, last week or the week before. The little triangles at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Those little triangles are this year's flu.
So we're looking at this graph that kind of breaks down the.
I'll put it on the screen.
Influenza cases over the past several seasons, and you look at all these different colors, these different seasons, and they've gone up, they've gone down, but this season it's virtually non-existent. Isn't that amazing? How influenza has virtually been non-existent this season? That's a miracle. That's wonderful. That's also unrealistic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's the argument that we're all being a lot cleaner and wearing masks and things like
I
that
don't
is
buy it.
probably it's probably part of that, don't you think?
I think a large percentage of the COVID
People are definitely cleaner now.
statistics are probably actually the flu.
But for sure, that's what's happening. Especially this surge right this year, everybody's freaking out about the COVID hospitalizations. In years past, this time of year, they've been freaking out about
Hospitalizations because of influenza.
hospitalizations.
Right.
Yes.
And I mean, what do you expect? The numbers for COVID is going to be continuously going up with all these drive-by testing sites. We just came back from shopping, went to CVS, and there was a
Drive-through shopping, a drive-through testing facility there.
right there on the outside.
I mean,
at the outside.
they got these testing things all over the place. They have these testing events, like at the fairgrounds, where I don't know, hundreds of cars drive through to get tested for COVID. Now, who would do that?
That is a good question. I
It's
would
like, what do
to
you
know.
want to do tonight, Karen?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you
Let's
want to
go
do?
get tested, Kev. I'm
Let's all
curious.
hop in the car
do you
with the
think you've ever
kids.
had COVID? I mean, there was that one time period I felt pretty bad. You think I might have had COVID there? You know what? Let's go get tested
Well,
and
that
find
would,
out.
if you had it though, it wouldn't test for antibodies. It would just test if you had it
At that moment in
or
time.
not. So
yeah. Did you hear about the poor family that got kicked off the plane because their 2-year-old child wouldn't wear a mask? They not only got kicked off the plane, they are banned from flying that airline forever. Let's see. And they even have a video of them trying to get the mask on the child, and the child's clearly not having it. And she's only 2 years old, by the way, and it's been proven, pretty sure it's been proven, that kids are not super spreaders, and this 2-year-old child is not going to spread it to people on the plane. And basically, Matt Walsh said it best: shame on you, because grown people are scared because a child's not wearing a mask. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get COVID from this child. What? I couldn't believe it. I think it's JetBlue is the airline.
I thought it was United.
Oh, I don't know.
United.
So don't quote me on that, because I'm not quite sure what airline it was. But this poor family has a video of them trying to get the mask on the daughter. The daughter's not having it, and then they're humiliated and have to be escorted off the plane because their 2-year-old child will not put on a mask. I think we have lost our minds. I really do. I think that we have just lost our minds.
Well, did you see the thing, the video that was posted the other day with a lady was being chased around a store by some guy saying,
Yes.
you must put your mask on.
Okay, and not only that, if you haven't seen this video, it's hilarious. Do you know what? You know the part that Matt Walsh? Do you know the part that Matt Walsh focused on that whole story? The guy was in short shorts.
Yeah.
He He goes, I don't know who his loved ones are, but shame on them for allowing him to leave his home wearing short shorts. And you look back at the video and yeah, he's got on some pretty short shorts, but it's so funny though. Anyway, that aside, this man is literally chasing this woman around the store, and she keeps saying, get away from me. You're in my 6-foot space. Get away from me, sir. And he's like, no, does it not bother anyone else that she's not wearing a mask? We have to wear a mask. How come she doesn't have to wear a mask?
Yeah, another crazy thing that happened was, did you see the guy at Costco that stood up on a table with a megaphone saying, you do not have to wear a mask. Do not listen to the government.
Basically, it's all the emperor. The emperor has no clothes is basically what he was trying to say. Wake up, people. This is all a scam. Blah, blah, blah. He got escorted out of the store, though, didn't he? The guy with
I don't
the
know, but
megaphone?
people were coming up to him, high-fiving him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's crazy. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
And if Biden actually does end up getting into office, there's going to be a lot of crazy things.
But you know
continuing
what,
to happen.
though? Let's be honest. It's almost, I can't believe I'm going to say this. It's almost preferable to have Biden in office. Yes, there's going to be some crazy stuff and it's going to be magnified with him in the office. But if Trump pulls this off and he ends up being our president for the next 4 years, we're going to have violence like we've probably never seen before. So,
Well,
which
there was
is better? Ultimately,
President Trump
well, I
in
know
office.
Trump, obviously, but
there
that
was
kinda
violence
worries
last
me.
time. I mean, there's violence last time.
Oh,
These guys,
man.
the Democrats are going to be violent no
know.
matter what.
I don't know.
I mean, they're the party of love, compassion, and tolerance,
I know.
which means be violent,
I
apparently.
know.
So,
And apparently the Republicans are all racist and homophobic and all these kinds of things. So
I mean, I
So-
guess there's still on January 6th, there's the vote where they vote to accept the electors, the electoral college.
and there just has to be one senator and one congressman
Yeah.
or woman
Yeah,
that stands up.
At this point, there are several congressmen saying that they're going to dispute the electoral college numbers, and there's no senators that have said that they are going to dispute it yet. So it
Which-
just has to be one of each.
I don't understand why that couldn't be like Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley. I mean, they've been very vocal.
Ted Cruz,
about
Josh
this.
Hawley, Rand Paul.
Rand Paul, for sure. He actually gave a really good comeback speech or whatever on one of his speeches. But anyway, I don't know. Do you think he's going to be able to pull this off?
It will be.
You know
if
what?
anybody
Okay.
can do it, President Trump can do
Okay,
it.
but look-
It's going to be a miracle
But
at this point.
let's be realistic at this point, though.
I am praying for miracles.
It's Christmas. Please give us a miracle.
Good. We need a Christmas miracle. We
Right.
need a January 6th miracle.
Exactly.
Please.
But let's be realistic about this. Okay, so even if we get these guys to stand up and everything halts and they're going to look at the evidence, I don't think anybody has the balls to actually make that decision. Like actually say, you know what I mean? Like actually turn this around. Because if the courts won't even listen to this, the Supreme Court won't even
They
have the
haven't-
courage to take on.
They haven't even listened to the evidence. Nobody's listened to the evidence. The
Which-
thing about this thing on January 6th is if it's disputed, the Senate has to actually listen to the evidence. Could you imagine what that would be like, though, if that
Okay.
actually happens?
Okay, but they're going to listen to the evidence and then what?
Then they actually vote on the electors.
But they're going to listen to the evidence and then ignore it. Is what I think is going to
The
happen.
thing about it is there's a majority at this point of Republicans in the Senate.
Man, I tell you what, those Georgia candidates
But
better win.
that's-
We're going to be in so much trouble.
No, that's going to be before
I know
this.
it's afterwards, but
So
anyway, I know it's just.
could,
But that whole thing makes me so nervous. Come on, Georgia people, get out there and vote for the Republicans so we can have some checks and balances. Otherwise, it's going to be one party rule, and there's no telling what kind of damage they're going to do to us for 4 years.
okay, we're getting up there in time.
Hold on a second. Let's see, homeschooling has more than doubled since lockdowns. I think that's a good idea.
I'm not sure what that means. I mean, people.
The number of people, well, first of all,
Ha-
okay, I know why you're saying that, because
I mean, people are just the
they
kids
have
are
no
at home.
choice.
The kid-
Right.
Yeah.
They have
So,
no choice to
I'm not sure
homeschool
what that
them because they're
means.
locked down. But what I think that means is that the number of people that are choosing not to send their kids back to traditional school and keep them out and homeschool them has doubled, which I think is great. If that's what it means, I think that's great news, because the school system has gotten out of control about these contracts they have to sign about white supremacy, white guilt, or something like that.
Def-
These school teachers have to sign some kind of contract that they're going to teach that in their classes.
Yeah.
What? That's insane.
Yeah, it's happening here in our hometown too, big time. It's happening in San Diego. It's happening all over the place. The teachers are having to sign these things that they agree that if you're white, you're, privileged, and
We've
all
got to
the
get
stuff
off
like
this
that.
race thing. There's no race. There's
crazy.
only humans. There's no skin color. It's just human.
yeah,
It's
we're all-
crazy.
We're all just a different color of tan.
Yeah. And then the fourth grader who briefly showed his BB gun during a virtual school session got suspended because the teacher saw a loaded BB gun in his bedroom, and they suspended this fourth grader.
Do we have anything objectionable in our background?
I know,
here?
right? I mean, we've got some garland with
I
lights
got-
on it. I
a-
apologize if
like a-
that's holiday specific.
I got like a nativity scene back here. Oh, my camera's off
Oh
though,
no.
so
Oh well, yeah.
that could be insensitive to.
We've got a Santa Claus on a stocking back here. Does that offend anybody? It probably does somebody.
But the funny thing about that is that they were saying that that's just like the kid brought a BB gun to school, but then the argument against that was, well, that's just like the teacher being in the kid's bedroom.
Right?
So
Right. It's insane. Yeah, he said, if this child brought a gun to school, then by the same logic, his teacher is hanging out in students' bedrooms. Is basically what the lawyer was saying, because I had to get a lawyer, because it's going to be on his permanent record, because they can't get it off his record. Now, so he's going to have a permanent record of being suspended from school because the teacher saw a BB gun in his bedroom, in his room at his home, not on school campus.
Is that really a big deal though? I mean, like, how many times did people refer to your high school, your elementary school records when you tried to get a job or something?
Well,
You know,
maybe
is that-
not,
Is that
but
really that big a deal?
I mean, it could maybe go on your transcripts though. Like if you're trying to get into
No.
college.
I didn't have anything like that on my record, but I don't remember them ever looking at my record.
Oh, this isn't about you. This is about this little boy with a BB gun in
I'm
his
just wondering,
bedroom.
just wonder if that's that big a deal.
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you guys, this is so crazy. Okay, so I know we're getting short on time, so let's end it on a good note. I don't know if you saw his face or not, but he's kind of rolling his eyes. Okay, let's ask some questions to wrap this up. What is different about your relationship with your partner than other relationships you've had in the past? Other than being married to each other? I'm not sure how to interpret that question. Can you? I mean, what's different about this relationship than other relationships? I mean, I'm pretty committed to this one. I don't know. What would you say we've shared? I think we share a sense of humor. We're pretty opposite, though, in a lot of ways. Like,
You don't follow directions very well.
I knew this was going to happen. We kind of got in a little bit of an argument. Right?
You're supposed to listen to the navigator when you're when you're
I'm
driving.
not going to listen to the navigator because I might get into an accident. Because you were like, no, go straight. I can't go straight.
It's
I'm
like
going to get hit.
somebody listening to their GPS and like driving off into the ocean or something like that. So that's what you're equating me to, the GPS.
Well,
The difference is I knew where I was going.
actually, the difference is I prefer a GPS because then I can shut the GPS off. Ooh. Snap.
Thank you.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. You get to spend a week with someone you admire in sports, entertainment, science, politics, or the arts. Who do you choose and what do you do together?
Sports, entertainment.
Yeah,
what?
like maybe in your field, like a musician. If you could spend time with a famous musician, who would it be and what would you do? I'm gonna have to think about that for a second. I have no interest in sports. Don't really have a lot of interest in science or the arts. Politics. Let's just pick a politician.
I don't like politicians.
There's not anybody you would like to pick their
No.
brain.
No.
I think it would be fun to try to debate like Weinstein or someone on the
No,
left.
those people are disgusting. I wouldn't want to even be around them. I wouldn't mind hanging out with President Trump a little bit, just because he's, so successful.
Well, supposedly he's very kind as well, and
Yeah.
a very generous guy.
I would have liked to have been, spent an afternoon with Eddie Van Halen when he was alive. To maybe
Yeah,
get
I
some
had a
guitar
feeling you were going to
tricks,
say that.
but,
Wouldn't that be something? He can kind of teach you like a one-on-one
yeah.
session with Eddie Van Halen. That was pretty sad that he ended up dying. He died of cancer. Is that right? His cancer finally got him?
I think so.
Yeah, that was pretty sad.
Yeah.
I really don't know who I would spend some time with or who I would choose. I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head because, I mean, a lot of public figures. Oh, I think I know exactly who I would. I would love to sit with Candace Owens. I think she would be so interesting and fun to talk to because she's pretty amazing. I kind of have a girl crush on her. Or Michelle Malkin or someone like that. I think it'd be kind of fun.
I just wouldn't. I wouldn't have anything to say. I would just. If I was with somebody like that I was sort of in awe of, I probably wouldn't. I'd just sit there like.
Actually, it might be more interesting to sit with someone who opposes a lot of what you view, because if I sat with Candace, I mean, I agree with everything she says. So I don't know what kind of conversation that would be if I just sat there and was like, yep, I agree with you 100%.
Just like
I
Diamond
agree.
and Silk, where you just, one of them says, yeah, you're right. Uh-huh.
Those two crack me up. They're so funny. But you know what? When she has something to say, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But okay, and then one last one. What's an activity you loved growing up that you would want to share with your partner now? I think I know what you would say.
Well, we used to enjoy photography together a lot more, and that's something that it seems like you don't really have an interest in that much anymore.
I do have an interest in it, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's what I like about it, is like changing all the dials and everything.
Yeah, now see, that's where you and I differ. You do a lot of manual stuff, which, to be honest, it doesn't really turn out that great.
I just like to test and try.
I know. That's great.
Just putting a camera on auto and then letting it do the work is not as much fun as just trying to, like change the settings and blur the background or something like that.
I know. And that's what I like. It's just I like to point and shoot and get the picture.
Some of my manual shots have not turned out very good, but you got to try.
When we go on vacation together, I'm like, would you please not put it on manual? Because then we come back because we have like several cameras. We got our phones, we've got other cameras that we take with us on vacation. So we end up taking the shots, multiple shots of the same thing, and I'm so glad we do, because some of those pictures don't end up being very good. But here's what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say bicycling, because you love to ride bicycles, and I like it, but I can't handle it. I get off a bicycle and I throw up. I get so dizzy.
Well, it's like a new development for you, because we used to ride bikes all the time.
It is a new development for me, and it's very frustrating to me. So I don't know if it's my blood pressure or what, but I get off a bicycle and I get so dizzy I had to throw up. So I avoid bicycles. But yeah, that's something that we used to really love to do together. Is there anything else that we used to? We're pretty opposite. We really are.
Well, music. We used to like to listen to music.
Sure.
Now, pretty much, I don't even listen to music.
And that's why I still love music. I still love listening to music, but you don't have any patience for the new stuff.
I don't know what. I don't even like to listen to old music that much anymore. I don't listen to music that much anymore, which is really weird for me, because I listen to music all the time.
And you love to,
build
amplifiers and play your guitar and stuff.
Well, I still like to play music. I just don't like to listen to music.
Well, what kind of music do you like to play?
Just, mainly like 80s rock and things like that.
You don't like listening to 80s rock?
And my own songs. I don't really like to listen to it that much anymore.
Really? Why?
I just don't. I don't know, it's like almost like I don't use my brain as much when I'm listening to music. So.
But that's an interesting answer.
I always like to be working on some kind of problem or something like that. And it's like, especially when I'm working, I cannot listen to music.
That's why we're so different, you and I.
You listen to music when you're trying to solve a problem?
Well, first of all, I don't solve a lot of problems. So I'm too impatient. I do not have Kevin's patience. He has a lot of patience when it comes to solving problems. I listen to music at work, though, like when I'm doing kind of mindless work, and it helps. Like it kind of energizes me. If I'm starting to feel sleepy, I'll put some like energetic music on, and it energizes me. I like a lot of the new stuff. I like a lot of music, except rap. I can't stand rap. Hate it. It's so stupid to me. But no offense to anybody that likes rap music out there.
I almost never listen to music, even like on vacation. I don't really even listen to music.
That is amazing to me.
Anymore.
It doesn't, like, you don't listen to music to help relax or anything?
Not really. It's like a gene that was just turned off on me or something.
That is, because he used to be super into music. He was in a couple of bands actually. So that's really weird that you don't.
I still like to play music, but I don't like to listen to music.
So weird that you don't like to listen to music, but you like to play to music. Play music.
Anyway,
Then, another thing that we're really different on is like home decor. we can't ever decide. We can't ever agree on home decor. He'll bring something home and think that I'm going to love it. I'm like, that's ugly. Or I'll pick something up and he's not crazy about it. So I don't know. I guess in our story opposites attract. So
We're not that opposite though. We're pretty.
well, we have a lot of, we kind of had the same mindset on a lot of things, but our hobbies and that kind of thing, I guess, are kind of opposite. We're just opposite enough that we are interesting, I guess, to each other. But this is one reason why we're doing the podcast, is because it's something we can do together.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sitting here and I'm continuing to talk and answer these questions as he looks at the clock. And he's thinking we're going way past our time, and I'm starting to get bothered by it. I know him so well. You can't be married to someone for 30 plus years and not know him. And I'm sitting here and I'm doing this on purpose just to annoy him a little bit more. All right, Kevin, Uncle.
We're going to have to wrap this up. I think I said that about 20 minutes ago. I mean,
all right.
You can just hear all the what's that clicking sound out there? It's all everybody clicking off of this podcast.
Hey, you know what? We need some laughter in this world. Everything's too serious and too doom and gloom right now. So with that said, it's Christmas. It's going to be Christmas time. Christmas time next week. Next week, hon. So I don't know what your plans are, but we are having our boys coming over on Christmas Eve to spend the night so they can wake up and have breakfast with us and open the gifts that Santa brought. And so by the time our next podcast comes out, we'll have celebrated Christmas. That's crazy. And 2021 is right around the corner. I can talk forever, by the way, just to annoy him a little bit more. All right. In all seriousness, thank you for listening. Have a great Christmas. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Bye. See you next time.
Bye, guys.